I want to play a game with you. Do you have what it takes to listen to a whole horrible podcast episode? Or will you give up and accept your fate? Live or die. The choice is yours.
What's up, Ghosts and Ghouls? It's the one, the only JT Ripper, and I'm here with
Todd of Thunder.
And today we're back with our review of Saw 10, or Saw X, so to speak. We just got done watching it in the movie theater, and I think we've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, indeed. The 10th installment, and usually the 10th installment of a franchise is not fondly looked at, especially in the horror genre, but we will give you our thoughts and our opinions on this brand new sucker.
I mean, it's new, but it's not like new. It's kind of like the story that you knew about, but it finally gets told with John Kramer.
Yeah, before we dive into it, just know that this story takes place, if you're an Abbott Saw watcher, you'll know this takes place between the first film and the second film. So if you're wondering how in the hell did they bring back John Kramer for this film, he's supposed to be dead ever since like the fourth film, and they always find a way. And this one, well, it's a prequel, and Shawnee Smith is back as Amanda. She's dead too, but not in this one. So there you go. It takes place between 1 and 2.
Yeah, it does a great job at telling the story of John Kramer's cancer and that whole situation. I believe they alluded to this is the event that led up to like the events of like 1 and 2.
Yeah, they did it pretty good. Like you said, they dive a little bit into, or they tell a good story about how he's, desperate to kind of
cure the cancer. Yeah.
Yeah, no, or at least prolong it or whatnot. And, I'll get into one question I had a little bit later on, but yeah, that's the majority of the story. That's what leads up to it, and he gets hooked up with this kind of black market type of deal where, they supposedly won't sanction the treatment here in the United States, so you have to go on the black market to get it because it's illegal.
He found it out through his support cancer group.
Yeah, that one guy told him where to find it.
Yeah,
and
he showed him a scar, and I've been cancer-free for 4 months or so now. And
yeah, and it sounded fishy, but not at the time as you're watching the film. I mean, it comes back later on, but anyway, long story short, he has to travel down to Mexico to meet these people, and there he goes to this facility, and it's the daughter of this big famous surgeon, and she's surgeon, whatever. He's a fucking doctor, and he's
a doctor.
Supposed to be the brains behind this whole deal, and it's his daughter who is, they go over, they said it's a combination of surgery and this like cocktail, they called it, that they have to take, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, they didn't quite deliver on what they were promising him.
No. Spoiler, if you're listening now and you don't want to know any spoilers.
Turn off now until you see the film.
Yeah.
Right now.
Or fast forward. Probably.
Pause it.
I don't know.
No,
couple minutes.
There's pretty much going to be spoilers throughout this.
Yeah, come to find out they're snake oil salesmen, and they sold him a false bill of goods, and it was heartbreaking, honestly.
Yeah, it was a little.
We knew like how the story ended, but like you could see like the hope and like admiration for life, and then it just kind of like gets taken away from him yet again.
Yeah, you can definitely sympathize with what he went through, because it's like you said, we know who he is, we know what he does, but he's still somebody who has a terminal ill cancer.
Yeah.
So, when somebody gives you hope like that, it's and rips it away from you, that is very, very sad, And, that can pertain to anybody going to real life. Anybody that's like, hey, I'm going into surgery. Hey, I'm going for treatment. The doctors say, it's a 50-50 chance, but I'm optimistic,
Yeah.
And then after the surgery, they go, oh, that went well. And then 2 days later, they're like, nah, it didn't quite go as well as we thought it was.
Yeah. This movie, I am having an internal struggle, a good internal struggle for once this year, with how and where I'm placing this movie. This movie was fucking fantastic.
Yep.
I love this. So far, this is my fucking top movie of the year, honestly, people.
Excuse me.
If you are kind of wondering if they're going to deliver with the gory goodness, on all cylinders it fucking delivers.
But I think what makes this particular Saw stand out from most of them is the actual story.
Yes.
Most of the Saw movies kind of felt like they were gory just to be gory, just to get them out, blah blah blah. Little bit of story to them just to attach them to everything else. But this one was a real dive into the story. There's a couple guys on YouTube that I watch and met the screenwriter at just walking around at a convention, and I'm thinking to myself, why did they go out of their way just to get the screenwriter? Apparently they saw it and they were impressed by the story just like we were, so kudos for them to get an autograph basically for free on that. That's pretty awesome. But
yeah,
shout out to the screenwriter.
The way that this Saw movie makes you feel a lot more than probably any other Saw movie. Like, I've never been so involved in a Saw story.
Yeah.
As much as this one. This one hurt me, and normally there's people that you kind of want to see get redeemed.
Yeah,
I wanted all these bastards to fucking die, all of them.
Yeah, I would agree with you that I probably the first Saw film really does something to you when you see it the first time.
Right.
The second one, not so much, but it's cool because they up the traps, and basically from the third one on, it's kind of like rehashing, but it's, you go for the gore, basically. This film kind of got back to the feeling of the first and second film of actually making you feel something and really driving home this story, and not just a bunch of people together that just wake up and then you have to figure out why they're there. You get the story first, then you get the the traps or the whatever you want to call them, the torture devices,
the game.
Time to play the game.
The only one that I couldn't figure out if it was trying to figure out if it was like the beginning, where the guy had the choice to it has the tubes in his eyes. I couldn't tell if that was a precursor or if he was thinking about it.
I think that John had, after what he did in the first film, I think John kind of took a break from it. He was thinking about coming up with all these different traps, but then he got sidetracked on trying to come up with this, how do I deal with this cancer, right? So when he saw the guy do that, I think that he envisioned doing that to him, but it never happened because he saw him. That's why he it jumped back to that scene where he's still in the room and John says, "Good choice."
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Well, I'm not sure if this one takes place before Saw 1, because think about it. It ended in the room where the first one began.
Well,
see, that's what I like about this movie. It's making me think.
Well, from all the reports that I said, they said between 1 and 2. So the events of the first film,
well, I guess
should have already happened, and
possibly.
And if you notice throughout the movie, just we'll get into it, but just to remind you, when the girl says, "Oh, John fucking Kramer, Jigsaw,"
that's right. That's right.
He was already known.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right.
But this one takes place in Mexico.
Yes.
So all the dirty deeds get done in Mexico, and basically, long story short, these people, like you said, con them. Everybody's a con, from the doctors to the people taking X-rays to they put together this little con team, and they get people with these terminal illnesses, and they promise them they can, cure them and all this stuff. And long story short, they give them a boatload of money. They fake them out. They send them on their way. And then when they try to get back in contact with them saying, "Hey, you fucking faker," they disappear.
Yeah.
And, this time, though...
But they bank on them dying.
Yeah, they bank on them dying, and, it's one of those deals where it's like insult to injury, you're already dying. But the thing that I thought was kind of funny in the film, and it happens in real life. You notice after, John got the surgery and everything, he thought he started to feel better, but it was nothing happened to him, but he starts to feel better. And that made me think to myself, man, that happens to all of us. You ever had a headache and you took a pill and something clicked in your head like, "Oh, I immediately feel better," but you really don't, but your mind tricks you into like, "Oh, I finally have this pill in me, I'm going to feel better."
Yeah, kind of, sort of. My interpretation of it was he finally was at peace and at ease, like he could finally enjoy the rest of his life that he has left.
Yeah,
and I think that was I think it's kind of pretty much the same thing of what you're saying. It gave him that peace of mind, that he's been searching for.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of a connection. It's like, something hurts on you, you take a pill. "Oh, my back feels better." Even though it hasn't even kicked in yet, it tricks your mind into thinking, "Oh, if it doesn't feel better now, it will feel better." So It starts to give you hope.
Yeah.
So you start feeling a little jivey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened to him. He's like, "Oh, I got this done, blah, blah, blah." And then, come to find out...
Yeah,
nothing.
But just by him wanting to be a nice person and give the girl that helped take care of him, I can't remember her name, the caretaker, she offered him some tequila and stuff like that, and he couldn't take it before surgery, and he wanted to come back and give it to her. So him being the smart man that he is, he figured it out. And he went to take her some tequila, and then that's when, the nobody was there. It was
totally abandoned,
a rouge. But they left everything, and he saw the fake videos, and come to find out, they really didn't even do surgery. When he opened up his bandage, his skull was perfectly fine. If you don't know, he had brain cancer. They didn't even shave his head. It actually showed them what we thought was him getting his head shaved and stuff like that, and they duped him. They duped him good.
Yep, and with the help of his trusty assistant Amanda, she rounds all these up in the pig costume. By the way, we got the pig costume back. That was
you
pretty
got
cool.
Everything back.
Yeah, and she rounded all these fakers up,